actually again. But so this today is about Samurai version 1 build, uh, or I call it type 1. So to go straight into it, mini tutorial. If you're ever interested in the Samurai, how to use the Samurai, you first start the game. Best thing that you need to do, go into your basic training first. We're in basic training first, and then you can go to heroic tactics after. So this is basic training. And what you want to do, as soon as you pop up in basic training, you want to press the options button on your controller and go over to, let's see, arena. And you can set your opponent, choose the opponent you want to fight against, and they'll automatically show up. For this one, I chose, well, this is default. They will give you the knight. So you could choose to do that, and you could choose to do arena settings. You could do your player to regenerate health all the time, stamina, and your opponents to regenerate health all the time and stamina, or just keep it on, or just keep it on regenerate. For this one, I'll put regenerate because every time I don't swing the sword, its health will go up. So you could choose to set your options in training so you could test yourself, or you could choose to take off your opponent's custom standard AI default of not moving around and doing anything, and go to attack mode where it says AI bot level 1. It will then go into attack mode and characters will attack you like that. But if you put it on custom, it will go back off. So it's on custom now, so as you notice, he's not gonna attack anymore. And as you see, my health is slowly regenerating because we have arena settings. Our player health is on stamina, but we don't have it on regenerate, so it goes much slower. But the moment you put it on regenerate, it goes all the way back up. Because that's kind of like a default for being immortal. So we're gonna keep that on for now. It's the same as for our opponent. So this is just a test to show how to use each of the stats. Now the first thing you want to know if you're doing it right or doing movesets right is when your character body glows up in the white. And once your character body glows up in the white, it's because you're doing it right. And the moveset in the upper right corner will tell you. It'll also glow up white as well. So it's R1, R1. Oh yeah, almost forgot. You need to hold down on L2. It even tells you to hold down on L2. But you go into your stance mode. Just holding down L2, you go into stance mode. If you just attack randomly like that, it's not a lock on. L2 is like a lock on feature. So you'll lock onto your opponent, and then R2 is where you can do heavy swing. R1 is where you do light swing, and so on and so forth. Now, the main thing you want to know how to fight good in this game is to always block. By using R3 on the directional pad, up, down, left, right, you see it goes up, down, left, right. Those are where you block. And it's kind of difficult because sometimes you're trying to get off a hit using your R1 and R2. But if your enemy strike you at one of these angles, say this enemy strike you from the left, right, from the left, and then the right, and then up, and then left again, and then the right again, you're trying to predict where the enemy is going to strike you. Sometimes it could just charge you, and this it also shows in your body when you're about to do a charge. So by doing a charge, you press X and then up on your L3 button. So press up on the directional pad and X at the same time, your sword glows. That's the forward charge without you actually executing the R1 or R2. So this is R2 and this is R1. R1 does small slashes, small slashes, small slashes. Now if the opponent is in the same stance as you are, upward stance for blocking upward attacks, he will always block you. But if you switch your stance to left or right, and he is in the up, he will always get an attack over on your opponent, or your opponent will always get an attack over you. So the problem is that you always have to figure out where the AI or the person that you're fighting against will attack you, and that's the difficult part. So you have to figure out how to master using both these sections, how to move left and right, the most important part for honor is to understand where your opponent is going to come from. Is he going to come from the top? Is he going to come from the left, right, whichever direction? It could come from behind you, and many times it comes from behind you while you're fighting another opponent, and it'll give you a little red indicator mark there, or yellow indicator mark that someone's coming from behind you. And so it's difficult while you're fighting an opponent, trying to block your opponent in front of you, and someone comes from behind you. So what you do, the moment you see a little red or yellow glowing bot, like an indicator, and say warning, warning, someone's about to attack you. While you're doing the attack, you quickly stop the attack you're about to do by pressing, let's say you press R2. You stop the attack you're about to do by pressing circle. Circle automatically stops your attack. So you go R2, circle. It's kind of like a feint move. Like you're about to do a punch, you're about to do a southpaw, but then all of a sudden you stop, defaulting your opponent or faking your opponent to assume that you're going to do attack and forcing them to do an attack. So you could stop, and then you could slide to the left or slide to the right to dodge both the opponent from behind you and the opponent from in front of you. So that's what you do. You go for the upper, lower, or whatever attack, and you got to be fast, because the problem with For Honor is that it takes for a long time for the coding that they do to actually access how you're about to attack using your controller. So it takes a while for it to read your own moves, and it's slow. So you see L2 open. I could pretty much press my circle button at least 3 times before your samurai or whatever character actually execute a stop motion in an attack. So I just press my controller like 3 times on the circle button for him just to do that one stop. Now you could get it right the first time, but in the heat of battle you're pressing it rapidly so you could stop them attack whatsoever and then dodge out the way. Now to dodge out the way, left and right is left directional button on your controller. That L3 on your controller, just like you're moving left and right on your controller while you're in stance mode, the R2 mode. So left L3, left using L3, moving side, left and right side, and then press X at the same time. So it's like walking to the side with your L3 button while you're in stance mode, which is R2, and then all of a sudden press X. You go here. Now your sword always tells you what you're about to do, because the sword basically is asking or telling you that, do you want to make an attack, or do you want to just not do anything? Once you do this, your sword always glows, and it's basically an indicator that you can make a heavy move using this attack, or you could not. But your sword is an indicator that you could do something. Like if you press forward L3 and X, boom, your sword will always indicate that you can do something. So for this one, you just do the standard R1, R1, R1. And that top indicator at the top says in your training manual that these are the moves that you're doing. R1, R1, R1. Now, like I said before, if he's in that direction that you're in, the same upward direction, he'll block only upward attacks. If he's in right or left, he'll want to block right or left. So for this one, he's blocking upwards. So I'm going to press R1, R1, and then R2. Now you notice the body of your samurai did not glow yellow. I'm going to show you. 1, 2, boom. You see your samurai body glows yellow because only special attacks are done from above, and only from above. If you try to do a R2 3 times, you will never get it. The body will only turn white. Now watch, your body is going to turn white. 1, 2, and 3. Now your body turned white after you did it the 3rd time. That's because you cannot get that critical attack except in the upward motion, in the upward attack. You can only get off a heavy yellow critical attack. I call that the critical attack. Or do a critical move forward, or a critical jump forward from the upward attack. You can never get it off using side attacks, the left and the right. It can only happen in the upward motion. So if you want to go for a kill, it can only be done from the upward motion. Now, let's see. The next thing you need to remember when playing as a samurai, hey, you already did dodge, you already know how to use R1, and you know how to use your R2. but you have to know when to execute your moves based on your opponent. So as I said before, let's say you're going forward using the R3 and the X, you could then decide to cancel it, or you could then follow up with it. So based on if your opponent is just guarding, not doing anything, he's expecting you to do an attack. And R2, R2, or you go R2, or R2, stop, X, 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 see, and then you cancel out your special. Because he assumed the moment your body glows up that you're about to execute him using a special, but you press circle to cancel out that special. And then once you cancel out that special using your circle, 1, 2, you then go to the side and execute doing a slide to the side to finish him off. So every opponent in this game, whether it's an AI bot or person, the moment they see that you're about to do a critical attack, they'll automatically try to counter you and then go for a kill. Because that's what they're assuming. Because the critical attack takes a lot of stamina. So they figure the moment you're almost out of stamina by doing a critical attack, boom, they're gonna go straight for this. They're gonna go for a stun attack, which will then put like a little circle thing around your head or your opponent's head. Say that you cannot do anything until that little circle thing around their head goes away. Gives them opportunity to do their critical attack like that. So once that happens, you go 1, 2, and then cancel it out, and then go like that, and then you go for the forward, and then go for either side or upward slash. So once again, you could go like 1, 2, cancel out, and then go block, and then go for an upward slash again. Hopefully they're not blocking you from the upward, but if their block is still in the upward, you obviously can't do that. So let's say you go from left, right, upward, and then boom, they block that, boom, block that, stop, that, and then I'll go from the left and from the right. And then you can finish them off that way. Now the best thing you need to know about playing in For Honor is that you don't really need to kill your opponent quick. You could kill them very easy by using R1, because R1 are quick slashes. And he will do anything to try to get you out the way so he could go off to kill another opponent. So, and that's the big mistake of a lot of new players. They want to do quick kills. No. Your R1 is your savior. It will get you out of death. It will make your opponents do stupid mistakes because they're going to go for heavy attacks, which takes a lot of stamina and takes a lot of time to do a swing. Like, look how long the samurai takes to just do that attack. And look how long it takes for the samurai to just do a quick R1 attack. 1, 2, 3. So basically every 1 attack of your heavy R2, you could do 2 attacks of your R1, which gives you opportunity to stop an opponent before they do their R2 by doing your R1. So I'll show you exactly examples of this when I turn on the AI and make him be an attack. Now I'm going to do dodge, I'm going to do fence, and I'm going to do executions. So he's going to do is a charging attack. Come on, do something. Dodge. Now you see that was a heavy going for a critical. Come on. Do something. Sometimes it gets it in, but you have to be quick on your feet. Where is it gonna go for? Where is it gonna go for? Boom. Boom. Side step, and you always use X. And you can do it all day. All day. Sometimes they get it in, but most of the times they will always miss. This and R1 is your savior, because by you countering them or dodging them, boom, you can always press a block or X continuously. So always sidestep using L3 and X, and always using the moment you dodge to the side. You press square 2 times. Square is to make them go a little fuzzy in the head. So boom, boom, and then you go for a heavy critical attack. Now if they get out of that attack, remember what I said, just do your fence, or dodge to the side. The fence will make them assume that you're about to do an attack, but you don't. So I'll try that out. 1, 2. Oh, you could do that too. That was accidental. I'll try it again. Go to the side. And I'll give him some square. 2, and then I'm about to. Very tricky. Alright, I'm gonna put myself in the upward block motion. I'll try it again. 1, that, bugger. Yep. Sometimes you accidentally press the R3 button because you're trying to get out the way real quick because you're trying to hit the enemy real quick, or you're just trying to get off an attack. 1, 2, upward. See? Wasn't fast enough. You gotta press that circle fast enough. Because the AI is so, I mean, how they program the game is so shitty. It takes so long for you to execute off a move. So you have to boom, 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 press real fast on your controller just to do something. Bop, bop, overhead, boom. You see? Boom. And then I did it again. 2, 1, 2. Wasn't fast enough. So it's all about speed. And that's all. Basically what Farana is about dodging, blocking, and speed to execute on your buttons. So what I'll do is I'll get out of this one. I go to my options menu. And then I'll go straight to... yeah. Okay, I'll quit the training. Now I'm going to go to tacticals. Now on the tacticals, this is what you need to know. The major things you need to know by executing certain special moves to do lots of damage to your opponent, or to do quick damage to your opponent, so to kill them, so you can get back into the groove of going and capturing a flag or saving an opponent from, an ally from dying by recovering them. Basically a way to get rid of enemies without worrying about them killing you. Eventually you're going to die by the third or fourth guy, but if you follow through on these steps for how to execute moves rather than just block or countering like the other one, you can pretty much kill people real fast before you even worrying about them doing special moves on you. So for this one, I'm going to do this moveset. The very first one, go into your R2, go upwards, and do L2. L2 for stance, and then as it says, Doom Mackenzie, R2, forward, and then boom. That's the upward slash, Doom Mackenzie one. Now I gotta do that again, R2, make sure you're forward, and that's very simple, extremely simple. And you only do that when you have another ally next to you, because your opponent, if it's just you and your opponent, that won't work, because he already knows what's coming. This guy keeps hitting upward. So he knows the last attack was going to be a yellow one. But if you're with another party member, then you could do it, because you don't have to worry about him constantly focusing on you, because there's someone else always hitting him from the side or at the back. So he's trying to focusing on 2 people, so it'll be hard for him to block that. So the best one in this game, so I'll go down to the best one. This one? No. Let me see first. No, that ain't it. Alright. 1, 2. That ain't it either. Wait a minute. Alright.
Well, that'll teach you.
Alright, so the best one right here is this one right here. I believe it's the same one. Okay, so nope, that's not it. I know what it is. That's not it. Okay.
You'll have to do better than that.
Alright, so no, wait. 1. No, it's not that one yet. One. Nope. Try bubble. Okay, there it is. So the best one to always remember to get a quick attack, to always defeat your enemies real quick. Yep. Alright, so forward. One. No. Something's wrong. Alright. Try that again. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. It has R1 on it. Specifically R1 on it. R1. 4, R2. Alright. So, that. Alright. Very strange. No.
That always stings a little.
No. No. Alright, so let me see. Let me check my legend. Maybe. Nope. Old list. No, it's definitely not there. Our tactics. Alright, so that's my problem. I was dodge block. Mess up. Practice. Alright. Alright, so I'll just go into practice. I'll do it from a practice point of view. I didn't see the list there, I'll just do it from a practice point of view. So, first thing I'll do is 1, 2. Alright, so 1. That's the one I wanted to do, but there's another one. You go X, X. No. You go R1, R1, R2. R1, R1, R2. 1, 2. That's the one you want. So, once again, hold down on L2 to lock on. And you press R1, R1 twice, 1 twice, and then after you press R1 twice, press square twice, like R1, R1, 1, 2, back, and R2, or 1, 2, R1, R1, R2, and then square, square, and then R2 again. So that's the one you want more than anyone. When you see your opponent's health is below 25% and you have enough stamina, you want to execute that move, because that move, what that move is, it'll stop your enemy's heavy attack by using R2, and it'll go directly into you'll stop your enemy attack using the R1, and then you'll go directly into an R2, but you won't execute the R2, because they assume you're going to execute the R2 after you stop their attacks, which will enable them to then do an R1 or an R2, but you're not going to do that. You're going to block. So the moment they go for an R2 or R1, you press the square twice, and then you go for the R2. So the first thing you want to remember is you see their health down to 25% and you have enough stamina. This is important if you want to kill them off like right away once they have 25% stamina. Is to go with the R1, R1, R2, boom, boom, 2 square, and then end it off with that critical. Now I'll do it fast. It didn't read it fast enough for me because I was trying to talk, so I'm now going to do it fast and show you. That will finish them off, because now you do 2 slashes. Pretend like you're about to do R2, but instead you do 2 hits to dizzy them so they can't do anything, and then you go for that R2 critical slash above your head. So once again, once you see their health is below 25% or even 30%, you go R1, R1, and then R2, and then square twice, and then R2 again. So that's R1, R1, boom, 2 square, and then overhead slash. Once again, that's R1, R1, R2, square, square, and then R2. But you gotta watch it, because this attack that I'm telling you is a critical attack for destroying an opponent, almost any opponent in the game, because you not only hit them and knock them off of their ability to attack you, you then stun them, and then you go for a critical headshot. So you stop their critical with your R1, and then you stun them, pretend that you're about to give them an R2, which means they assume that you're about to go for heavy, but you don't. You just stop them from doing an attack once again. So you stop them the first time using R1, and then you're about to go for your heavy overhead using your R2, but you don't do that. You just hit them twice like this, and then you finish them off using your R2. So I'll do that one more time. So 1, 1, and then you finish them off like that. So that's how that's done, and that's the main thing you want to know when an opponent is down to 25% of health. Now, majority of the saving grace is what I told you guys before, or basically telling myself, as basically one person viewing, but it doesn't really matter. I usually make these videos for myself anyway, but it's mostly about blocking and about dodging to the side and about countering attacks. But when you have the ability to finish off an opponent, let's say an ally got to get his health down to 30% or 25%, and you have enough stamina, you're running from one area. You're to capture a flag area. And as you're running, because you don't lose stamina when you're running, you only lose stamina when you're fighting an opponent, you slowly gain your stamina while you're running. So by the time you reach up to your enemy, you got enough stamina and you see his health is about 30%, you can either decide to go for this, which they'll see coming, because the moment you do that flip like this, they'll automatically dodge to the right or to the left, and then go for an attack, and then you'll be screwed. But if you run and you see them and you throw on your stance, and then you go R1, R1, go for your top, boom, boom, and then finish them off, they can't do jack squat, because the ally that was with you that they killed but got your health, this person's health down to 25% or 30%, they now have to automatically figure out, well, I gotta take out this guy. He's charging me, so boom, I'm gonna swiftly go for him because I see him coming, so I'm gonna swiftly go for him. But the moment they go for that heavy attack or that light attack, you dodge to the side and do your R1, R1, boom, stop, and then finish him off. So you're running around, you see your ally getting hit, get knocked down, and you're running. You now meet up to your opponent. Your opponent is about to go for a heavy or a light attack. You quickly dodge to the side, you do your R1, go for the heavy, block, and finish him off. Or you're running, you reach your ally dies, your opponent's still at half health, and he's about to go for an attack, boom, you dodge to the side, hit him with the L2 3 times, or hit him with the R1 3 times. So the moment he goes for the attack, does he see you coming, dash to the side, R1, R2, R2. And another saving grace is that when an opponent is about to do a heavy jump or a heavy attack, or any attack for that matter, and you move to the side, you'll always follow up with the R2. For the samurai, well, the person will always say shine. So, which is basically die. So you run, get to the person, and as soon as you get to the opponent, as soon as you get to him, dash to the side and go for that attack. Because he doesn't know which side you're about to choose. Up, left, down, right. So you run, get to the opponent. All of a sudden, you go to the left, or you go to the right. They don't know which way you're gonna slide to the side. Because they assume you're gonna slide to the side, or they assume you're gonna go for a heavy attack. So you go for a heavy attack, boom. Or you don't go for the heavy attack. You make them think you're about to go for a heavy attack. You're running around, you catch up to him. You're about to go for a heavy attack, or about to do that wrong. About to go for a heavy attack. Let me try that again. About to. Damn, not hard. Let's go. About to go. Alright, one more time. Come on, Fent, do your thing. Yeah, damn it, Fent. Alright, so, let me try. Oh, god damn it. I guess I can't Fent with this, but my example is, you run to them, you're about to do a heavy attack. Blah, 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 kill your opponent. Kills your ally. About to do a heavy attack. But then you Fent, and then you go to the side. Or you just, boom, go to the side and do an attack. Or you go to the side, about to do an attack, like you run, dash to the side, dodge the attack, and then you're, just as you're about to say, hey, I'm about to go for an attack once I dodge to the side, like this, you don't, you do a Fent, fooling them and making them think, oh, he's dodging to the side, you're about to do a Fent. So you dodge to the side, you're about to do an attack, dodging to the side, so when you dodge to the side, you're about to do an attack, but you don't do an attack, you do a Fent, so, boom, dash to the side, about to do attack, but you change your mind. You go for an upper slash. So there's many ways to do this. You could run towards the enemy, go for a heavy attack, or you don't go for a heavy attack, do a Fent. Or you could go run to the side, dash to the side, do the R1, boom, boom, execute. Or you could run to them, dash to the side, do the attack, or do a heavy attack forward, or slide attack sideward. Or you could do run to them, to the opponent, after they take down your allies, slide attack, but don't do the attack. Just stand there. And then, assuming you're about to do attack you at an invisible person that you assume you were about to stand here, and go to the side and do an attack, but don't do anything. Just go to the side, make sure you're blocking stance, just in case they hit the block stance form. Or, run up to them, go to the side, do not execute the attack, let them do a swing, and then you follow up with a swing. Because most people think that the moment you slide to the side, you're about to do an attack. Or most people think that the moment you do a forward attack, like a heavy forward attack, you can't stop it. Like before, it's hard to stop. But if you stop a heavy forward doing a Fent, you're going to follow up with a side attack. But that's pretty much all there is to know about the samurai. There are many different moves to learn, but the major one you want to know how to do in this game is blocking, slashing, like side slash using R2, slide slash using R1, and then make sure you always have an ally with you, and if an ally isn't with you, make sure you're always dodging, because an opponent can come from your back with that red indicator showing, hey, an opponent's about to attack you from the back up, L3, and back up, or to go to the side, and run your ass off before they chase you. And when you run your ass off from an opponent, always make sure you can see them behind you, because sometimes they'll jump at you while you're running, and you won't be able to see it because you're running like this, and you're not paying attention to your surroundings. Majority of most enemies can jump at you while you're running if you're not paying attention. So it's important to dodge and go for that side attack. Or dodge and go for that attack. And do a Fent. Or do a Fent. I go over and do a Fent. Stop and do a block. And then continue there. Now there are many ways to do attacks. Now the attack I just did, the jump forward. That jump forward is hold down on the stance button. Move forward like this. And press X and R2 at the same time. That will automatically get you into a forward attack, and then which leads to a then critical. So jump forward, This is the Kensei's signature attack for closing distances. So if you're running to an opponent, you press L2, stance mode, R2 for the heavy, and X at the same time. So running forward, boom, then hit the L2 for stance, then make sure you're in the forward, and then do it. And keep doing it. Because you continue to keep doing it again. You see? You can keep doing it without using your critical. As long as you can keep holding that L2 button, the forward button, the X button, and the R2 button at the same time. So you keep pressing it, and keep pressing it, and keep pressing it. But you'll run out of stamina. But it's a neat way twice. Like say if you do it twice, boom. They won't expect you to do that same jump move twice. They'll expect you to do the follow-up to that jump move, which is this use. But basically your standards are always to block, always to move to the side, always to do a side attack with the L2. And make sure you always go, once you do L2, heavy R2 to the side, at both sides. Never do an attack on an opponent at the same stance, like R2, 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 at the same stance position. Always make your R2 go from left to right or above. Always switching up on your opponent at all times. So go to the side, R2, R2, and then heavy on the top, or slide to the right, slide to the left, R2, R2, and then heavy, and then anything else. But basically, it's always about moving around, always dodging, always make sure you're always blocking, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to join a mission now, and that's it for training. So if you guys want to use that as a guide, you can. And I'll show you an example of how to use it effectively in mission. Most opponents will be seeing these moves coming, but your saving grace is always when you see someone's health below 25 to do that last move, or always use R1. R1 is a lifesaver. You dodge left, dodge right, and always do R1 because your enemy is going to always do a quick kill rather than a heavy kill. Because quick kill, you get off at least additional 2 attacks to every heavy, which is R2. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to multiplayer, Samurai wins, and we're going to do Breach. Oh, we're not going to do a player versus player because it'll take forever with player versus player. That's a problem with doing Breach with play. That's another problem when it comes to For Honor. If you're playing against PvP against other opponents, you're doing it for fun. If you're trying to collect things to make yourself stronger, it's best to always fight against the AI because you'll be wasting time in PvP against other opponents. PvP against other opponents in For Honor is simply for fun. PvP against the AI is to collect and get stronger items as well. Now, if your opponent in, like say, PvP against player versus player, you get stuff, that means you get heavy stuff that they're carrying as well, which is great, and you can't get it from the game itself. But if you realize that you're not that good to play against some of the heavies within For Honor that have a lot of cheating because they buy all their crap, it's not a really good idea. So, we're going to do that. I never understand people who buy stuff in For Honor to make themselves strong. Yes, you can buy stuff because you have the right to do so, but at the same time, you're not really earning that. You know, it's a quick win type situation. This Kensei I'm using has earned everything. So, I'll use the Kensei in mission. And they have the little Christmas theme going there. And I'll show you how to fight with them in a good way in mission. I'm gonna die at least 2 or 3 times because they're bots, but the point is of For Honor is to keep your health up at all times. And most of the times that does not happen because you can't do it all the time. You're always surrounded by your opponents or other NPCs, and you're trying to actually get the best gear. So if you're trying to get the best gear, you're always trying to get the top score and the most kills. And if you're trying to get the top score and the most kills, you won't be slacking off by trying to get health all the time, or unless your health is critical. So this is just a test run of the samurai. Apparently they already started the mission, so I'm on the system. Oh, crash. So Piranha has crashed. That's the one thing that you gotta watch out about. Those bugs out for years, and they have some, but not all the time. But every now and again, Piranha will have a crash. Just like that. Sometimes those crashes could be a pain in the ass and happen continuously, or sometimes it could just happen randomly. So hopefully we don't get a crash that happens continuously. Otherwise I'll have to end this video.